Okay, so welcome back to Upwell Club. Today we have Ian Nam with us. He is the co-founder of Strenght Culture, a very successful gym in Hong Kong. Ian has been a very successful athlete currently and in the past, competing in strongman. Even the gym now is amazing. It's a lot bigger than it used to be. You have a great space, a lot of classes, very good personal training. But we're very happy to have you here.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the introduction.
Yeah.
I like how you said past athlete as well. Yeah. I'm kind of like getting close to the end of my career. Yeah.
Current and past.
Current and past. Yeah.
They're still competing.
Still competing. Yeah. Last competition was last year in March, which was in Shenzhen for Shenzhen Strongest. This was my heaviest body weight. Actually, I competed in the open.
Okay.
But yeah, having that heavy body weight really made me appreciate being at a lighter weight, which makes me want to lose weight again. So I'm currently trying to cut back down again.
I see.
Yeah,
that'll be one of the topics we can discuss
later
as well.
And I think this year, no plans to compete at least until potentially next year. Maybe Japan. Maybe I might make an appearance in Hong Kong Strongest.
Oh, okay.
I may give the organizational part of things to the team, and then maybe I'll compete.
Nice.
We'll see.
Nice. Yeah, show us up. Show all the big guys up.
Yeah, hopefully by that time, I think we have a lot of interest for like a lot of international athletes. Like the competition I went to Singapore last year, Extinct Games. There's a lot of the competitors from that competition who are very interested in coming to Hong Kong. And I think with the venue we have, it's like a huge pull for athletes. So there's not many competitions where you can compete in the center of like a carnival. And I think that was a big draw for a lot of the athletes. Yeah.
Very cool.
I think we were very lucky to get that space.
I'm sure it wasn't easy.
Yes.
But today we wanted to have you here to discuss a few things about lifting well, which is our topic of the month. So anything, between how to lift safely or who should lift, is lifting safe for people, maybe, bust a few myths around lifting. Those are a few of the things that, I want people to know. And so we'd like to share your knowledge from that as well.
Sure.
Yeah. Maybe we'll ask you, big question. What is strength to you? What does strength mean?
Strength means, there's a lot of things to a lot of different people, but for me personally, I think strength means perseverance. I think being able to persistently chase a goal throughout all the challenges, hardships that come up while you're in pursuit of something, being able to overcome them is true strength.
And it's like not just in the gym, it's like
it's like everything in life.
Yeah.
Like it's a good thing to train because it keeps you like on top of targets, on top of goals. But the stuff you're training for in the gym also has an impact on how you attack things outside the gym.
Yeah, definitely. That's why I stuck to it too.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's why a lot of people are drawn to strength culture is because it's a tough, especially the strongman class. It's a tough class. It's not easy. Like you come in, you do the sessions, you're pushed to your limits, you're challenged, but you see the guys that they come back week after week and they're getting stronger. Even year after year, they're still getting stronger, which is great to see.
Yeah.
And it carries over into so many other aspects of your life. Like if you can get through like a really tough, brutal session, you can take on anything.
Yeah. Because it's just a mental game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You doubting yourself.
Yes.
Yeah. It's always you against yourself.
Of course. Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, forging mental toughness. Was that how did you come up with that?
So actually, Den came up with that.
Okay.
So Den is
this is the motto for Strength Culture. By the way.
Forging mental toughness. So Den came up with the motto for it.
Okay.
It's actually quite clever because we're trying to think about something to do with strength, but we actually realized toughness is often more important than strength itself. So strength is the ability to produce force, produce energy. Yeah. Where toughness is the ability to take on stresses, whether it's physical, whether it's mental, and being able to overcome them. And I think you guys, it's your 10-year anniversary.
Yeah.
Congrats
and same
to
to
you guys. Yeah.
Congrats
so for us
too.
as well, Strength Culture's 10-year this year. Throughout the 10 years, there have been like tremendous like challenges, especially like during COVID. I'm sure you guys experienced it as well. Like not being able to operate, being closed down, having to continue to train like outside with the outdoor classes, which was so taxing, like so stressing. Having to move equipment out and back all the time.
Yeah.
It was a huge challenge for us, but yeah, we were tough enough to get through it, and you guys as well. So
yeah.
If we can get through that, you can get through anything.
Oh yeah, we were doing it by the pier.
Yes, exactly.
Oh yeah. So,
I looking back at it, it was like an interesting time to look back and see like, damn, I appreciate like the members and the community we have to get us through it.
Yeah.
But looking back at it, I realized how like crazy it was.
Yeah.
Such a crazy time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think like that toughness is kind of ingrained in the foundations of like everything that strength culture is. I see it oftentimes in competitions as well. Like, so when you compete in strongman, it's not always the strongest guy or the strongest girl that wins. It's often the toughest. Like, who can kind of stick it out, who has more grit, who has more drive. You'll see guys who are like super strong after like 1 or 2 reps.
Yeah.
But then when it comes to an endurance event, they suffer, they struggle because they didn't put in the work to do like a 20 rep squat set. If you've experienced a 20 rep squat set, like to true 20 rep max, you know what toughness is.
Yeah.
Like you compare a 20 rep squat set to a 1 rep max, there is no comparison.
I have
like,
PTSD from some of your sessions.
Yes.
Oh God.
I think we had like leading up to Singapore Strongest 2 years ago, we had like a lot of high volume squats, and those sessions you need toughness. Like you need toughness to get through it, and not just physical toughness but also mental toughness. Yeah. Because your mind will definitely dictate how far the body goes. If the mind doesn't push it, then the body's just going to give up far too soon. Yeah. So I think that like toughness is very important.
Yeah. Agreed. Agreed. I still come back every week.
Exactly.
You know? But it's just like, oh, it's gonna hurt. But you do it, and you're gonna feel like I accomplished something for myself today. Exactly. I worked hard for it. Right. It's like I said about like the meaning of strength, like being having perseverance. It's like not just in a session in a class, but also like from throughout the hour of the class, throughout your day, throughout the week of programming, the months of programming, the years of programming. It's having perseverance to get through that. It's like that's true strength. Like being committed to a goal. That's strength. Yeah. This actually brings me on to the next point pretty well, because I want to ask you, because the topic being lifting well actually links with wellness, which is what we're trying to explore with what we're doing now, and also part of chiropractic is wellness, is making you feel well and like feeling like you can function. And part of the treatment and what we're doing is to help that on a physical and from a neurological level as well. So what I want to ask you is like, if it comes to, your clients, like what's like the biggest change you see in them for someone like you personally, you do PT with them for maybe a year or two, besides obviously they probably are more in shape or whatever, like, is there something with their character or some aspects do you see different with them?
Yeah, definitely. I think with strength comes confidence as well. Yeah. I mean, if you're looking at weights, and I think strength culture is quite an intimidating gym actually. Like people from the outside, it can be. Look in and think,
all the walls are black.
Competitors, it's very dark in there.
Yeah.
All the equipment is dark. Like, to be honest, our social media is not very like beginner friendly. It's all like competition, strongman, powerlifting. So
true.
But when you step inside, like everyone's very friendly. The team are so friendly. The team are very welcoming. Yeah. And I think when people train for strength, the biggest thing they see is just confidence. Like having the ability to overcome movements or overcome injuries, to overcome plateaus, to hit goals. That builds a huge confidence in you that, like we mentioned before, it carries over to your daily life, not just in the gym.
Yeah, I mean, even for the group that, you've trained me now for like 4 years.
Yeah, it's been a long time now.
It's a long time. And like, I felt myself change too from a mental level, just from how I approach work, how I approach daily life. And it's like, I knew that if things outside of like daily life, maybe there's always ups and downs, right? Like maybe I'm happy sometimes I'm not. Sometimes maybe work isn't going so well, or personal life isn't going so well. But I know there's something I'm constantly working on for myself, and I can see the results from it as well. I feel good, and I think that feeling good component, that's what pushes you through sometimes.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, we've all had sessions where we show up to the gym and we had a bad day and we're tired, we're sore, like things are not going well.
Everyone's annoying
you. You just show up, you get the session done, and after you won't be like, damn, like that weight has been lifted off your shoulders. You have a weight load on your back. You're squatting, but the mental load has been like taken off you.
That's a very special feeling.
Yeah, it's a good feeling, and it really changes like your outlook on things. Like it can be very negative, like especially in Hong Kong, it's a very stressful city. So it's nice to have an output that you can like relieve stress. And I think strength training is a big proponent to stress relief.
Yeah, and even just like maybe in the moment you're like letting out anger, or you're just like grinding through the rep, but somehow it's just some pressure's gone. Yeah,
that's like. I think the community helps as well. Like having a community that like supports you, cheers you on, and helps you push forward toward your goals. Like that's very important, hugely important.
Yeah,
I think that's like I said, it's like one of the biggest reasons why strength culture has been successful is because of the community we have.
No, I agree, definitely. That's why kept me coming back from the beginning as well. So
yeah, you and Avant started. It was at the old space when we were on Wyndham Street.
Yeah.
I think just before we moved to Leon Street.
I think for maybe about half a year.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. Yeah, you both have changed so much since then.
Yeah.
Both gotten so much stronger. Have put yourselves out there, which is not easy. Like, especially like when you're getting into like your first comps. You did Static Monsters with your first one, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, it's not easy overcoming that. Like stepping out on stage, putting yourself out there in front of like judges, like actual judges who are like looking at your every move.
Yeah.
Right. It's quite stressful, but if you can overcome that, then like it's a good confidence builder.
Yeah.
Huge confidence builder.
Yeah. Sure. It's been good. I want to ask you, what is, I guess what do you want people to know as a coach? Like, let's say someone comes to you and goes like, I want to lose weight, or I want to look a certain way. Do you just say, I know strength culture isn't really like, it's definitely not a like aesthetics based gym. It's not like a transformation gym. And I'm sure that's on purpose, right? Because the message behind it is building the toughness, in daily life and prolonged amount of time as well, right? So what do you tell people when they say, oh, I want to come in and lose, I don't know, 10 kilos, 20 kilos, and I want 6-packs,
Yeah, I always tell them, I never like really focus on aesthetics. I always tell people like aesthetics is a byproduct of strength training. So if you come in, if you're eating healthy, if you're training consistently, the aesthetics will come. I think a lot of the fitness industry is too focused on aesthetics and how things look, whereas it's such a short-term thing. It's like, well, after you've reached this goal of aesthetics, where do you go from there, right? Is it a long-term thing? Do you continue on training after you've reached that? Or is it just you do this, you reach this goal, you hit that target, and then you move on to something else, right? Whereas strength has always been more of for me, it's more of a lifestyle. So it has to be longevity, like having strength that carries over to when you get into your 40s. So I'm going to be 40 in a couple of years. So am I going to maintain my strength by then? I hope so. I'm going to continue on trying to do that.
Yeah.
To when I'm 50, to when I'm 60, like I want to continue to have strength as I get older, which I think people should be looking at strength as more of a lifetime, long-term goal, not just a short-term goal.
Yeah. That'll be hard for some to understand.
Yes.
Perhaps initially.
Because I think it's like people see like strength and fitness like as a short-term thing, whereas you should be looking at integrating strength in your daily life.
It's maintenance now.
It's maintenance.
You're maintaining your body.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And especially as you get older, you want to maintain as much bone density and muscle mass as you have, because it's hard to build it.
Yeah.
it's hard to build it, and it's even harder to maintain it when you get older.
Yeah. It's like chiropractic care as well. People come in and get their spine checked and whatnot, and they'll be like, oh, I just got some pain, I want to fix that pain. And then I'm like, that pain actually came about because you have weakness in this entire chain of movement in your body, and that's like the weakest point, or that's the point where it's starting to break down and you feel that pain. And actually, to fix that pain, you need to fix everything else around it. And that's actually been, I guess, the philosophy of chiropractic as well, as looking at the whole body functioning as a whole, and like the spine being the center of that, right? Which is why this all makes sense so much to me, coming to you to train, because I'm just like, everything's got to work well together. Yes. Everything's got to function well. And like, sure, on the outside, we're doing adjustments, we're cracking bones and whatnot, but so much of it is actually promoting wellness and promoting maintenance of your body.
I guess people will come into you and then expect like, oh, I have a stiff neck, like, can you just crack me and sort me out?
Yeah.
It's not that simple.
No, it's not. On the surface, like you need that to relieve it. Yeah, but so much more behind.
It's a whole integrated thing, right? Yeah.
No, it's been, it makes a lot of sense for me.
Yes.
Yeah, training as well. I wanted to then move on probably between, like a little bit about, I guess, the collaboration between how, when I send clients to you, when you send clients to me, that kind of thing. Because we've had a number of clients between us shared throughout the years, right? I know when to send you a client is when I know that they need that, firstly, physical strength back to protect their own body or their spine, but also they need that discipline to get themselves moving well, eating well, sleeping well, all of the things that have to come with training, right? Because you can say, oh yeah, this is weak, you got to go train it. But if you just train it for like 2-3 weeks, squat a few, for like 2-3 weeks, and then you like forget it again, like it's kind of pointless.
And it's going to come back again.
It'll come back, like it won't, you've never really fixed the problem. Yeah, so for me personally, maybe I'll start by sharing a few things regarding that, is that like I always tell my patients, you should lift some weights, you should do some form of resistance training. It might not be weights for some people, it doesn't matter, but it's very important that you're moving and you're keeping it consistent. And for me to send someone to you, it's at a point where they're like, oh yeah, I guess I do need a PT. And I'm like, I know exactly the guy.
Yeah.
And because I know that you will educate them in a way that's not just like, okay, you're going to get jacked.
Yeah.
And that's it, right? But I guess my question then to you is, when you're training clients and they're, like at what point do you think, oh, maybe this person needs chiro or even physio?
Yeah, I think usually when, like we've all experienced pain and injuries during training, but it just depends on like how acute the pain is. If it's like constant and it's always affecting their movements, like we always work around pain. So if there's a client that comes in and can't do a certain movement like deadlift, it aggravates their back for whatever reason, there's always modified movements that we can do that can still allow them to move without aggravating the injury. But if it's a constant thing, they will always refer them to physio or for chiro just to have it checked out. I think we see it a lot in the strongman community, because especially leading up to competition, like we push ourselves a lot leading up to like the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks out of comp.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of tension and build up and stresses on the nervous system. So it's nice to see like a chiro or physio that can help them relieve some of that stress.
Yeah.
And that's why recovery is just so important too. Like I think people do need to add that recovery element into their lifestyle to help with their wellness, the overall wellness. Because training itself is a stressor, and like we can only do so much as a personal trainer, as a coach. Like if it's a deep issue, like obviously you don't have the knowledge that I can sort it out, so I would definitely refer out to somebody like you.
Like maybe some disc issues or radiating pain down the legs when they're lifting, stuff that's not like modifiable.
It's not normal pain. It's like it's a serious injury.
Like it's not muscle pain.
Yes.
And they're just like, oh, my leg hurts after a squat. Like you're like, okay, well, we'll come down a bit. You can still go. Yeah.
But I think it's something that people need to add into their routine, is like recovery. I think it's so important.
Yeah. It's important. Actually, you brought up the point about nervous system, which is again big thing for us chiropractors, because we're actually working on the nervous system. I probably never explained this to you as I treated you.
No,
But
I'm always like screaming or shouting when I'm with Ken.
yeah. And you only come to me when you're like, oh, I'm so stiff.
When I'm broken.
Yeah. So you haven't done your maintenance as well as you should have. Yeah. But like, because for us, a lot of it is actually calming the nervous system by removing the stressors. Like, for example, you've done a lot of, I don't know, kettlebell swings, for example, and your lower back or your hips or your SI joints are quite sore, right? That on the surface is like a physical discomfort, right? But actually it's your nervous system telling you, hey, you got to slow down a bit, or you need to recover and then go again. But people just say, oh, it's, muscle pain.
Yeah, let me carry on.
Yeah, I'll carry on, I'll keep going. And, everyone can tell when it's a muscle pain versus a joint pain versus just like a stiffness, achy sensation. And, I wish people could listen to their bodies more, because when that happens, it's usually a sign of your nervous system stressing out. So, overdriving, sympathetic. And for us, doing the treatment, doing the adjustments, realigning, segments in the spine, or whatnot, is actually activating your parasympathetic nervous system. You're calming it down and allowing it to rest more. So, yeah, that's just on your point.
Yeah,
of maintaining.
Exactly how I feel like after a session with you. Like I just feel so relaxed. Like you're like almost like floating out of the room. Like,
Yeah,
this feels so good. Wish I could feel like this all the time. But yeah, I think it is important for people to get to that state where they can actually like calm the nervous system and recover.
Yeah.
Especially if they're training frequently, because like training itself is a big stressor on the body.
Yeah.
Like you're stressing the system a lot, especially like leading up to comps where like you're very hyped up. It's not just the lift itself is heavy, but mentally you're very switched on to like to in that fight or flight response.
Yeah.
So you're very switched on to go and lift that way.
Yeah.
So it's nice to actually see somebody to actually like you that can calm it down and allows you to recover, because your body can only take so much. If you're constantly in that state, like something's going to give, something's going to break.
Exactly.
So it's very important to have that recovery in place.
And like that fight or flight affects everything, every organ, every cell in your body, actually. So, and people just think, oh yeah, I'm just stressed. But actually that stress compounding with work stress, and there's a lot that could go wrong, I guess. On the surface, it just looks like stress, but I think there could be a lot that's happening underneath.
That's right. And I think people get frustrated as well themselves a lot. Like when, like example, if you come in for a training session, you have certain numbers to hit.
Yeah.
When you don't hit it, you're like frustrated. You're like, oh, why am I not hitting that? But it could be maybe your sleep is off, maybe your recovery is off. Maybe you have like some light injuries you've not taken care of. Maybe you've not eaten enough throughout the day. Maybe you're not hydrated enough. Many different things can affect it. And I think people just need to be aware of those things and not to put too much pressure on yourself either. I think there's a lot of pressure on ourselves to perform. Especially when there's numbers involved, you want to hit certain numbers. Yeah. The pressure to hit those is there, which is good at times. But you have to make sure that you have that entire like wellness in place, where you have your recovery, you have your hydration, you have your sleep, you have your nutrition. It's a whole thing that it's a lot of different steps that need to be there for you to perform. And I think if you're missing one component of it, it really affects like your overall performance.
Yep. Yep. I'm like, yes, it's always, there's so many things to it, but like, it's such a reflection of how you go about your own life. Yes. Every step that you take during the day, how much water you're drinking, what are you eating for lunch, like all those things just add up. Maybe we can move on a little bit onto a few maybe training specific things, or things that people may know about but not too sure about. And I guess the most important one that I tell patients to do, and the most important thing you tell your clients to do, is probably bracing. And I want your take on bracing, and how do you cue people to brace? Like, I have my ways of teaching people how to brace in the clinic, but at the gym you have a lot of equipment that can help, right? What does that mean for you and like your understanding of it? You can share a few things.
Bracing is just an increase of your intra-abdominal pressure.
Yeah.
So how much pressure you can produce and hold within your abdomen to produce stability throughout the lift. Now, I think the best way to coach it or to teach bracing is actually with the use of a lifting belt. Because people think that often, like I'm feeling my back when I deadlift, I'm just going to put on a belt and it's going to fix the issue. But actually the belt is there to help you with your bracing. So if you have like a physical belt around your abdomen, you can actually like inhale and brace against it, and it gives you something physical to press against. Whereas if you didn't have the belt, you kind of don't know whether you're doing it right or not. So when you have the belt on, you should actually feel that pressure, press against it, and be able to brace and hold against it throughout the lift. And that will stabilize the spine. But yeah, typically people think like, oh, my back hurts, let me throw a belt on, and it's going to sort the issue out.
No.
But yeah, it's a lot more complex than that.
Yeah.
You're basically using the belt to increase abdominal pressure.
Yeah. I mean, it's actually when you do brace, the load that's going through your spine then gets distributed around the whole core, the whole torso, right? And you've got your different layers of muscles, your obliques, your abs, your transverse, pelvic floor, diaphragm. They all sort of compress inward and then expand at the same time. And it's like suddenly your spine is like the size of your torso.
Yes.
It's kind of like that.
Yeah, that's correct. That's a good way of putting it, because people think of bracing, they think about sucking their belly in. But actually it's the opposite. If you're doing a deep belly breath, so you're not breathing through up here, you're breathing through your diaphragm to put pressure out rather than sucking it in.
Yeah. And this carries over to everyone, literally everyone. Yeah. From like lifting something simple at home to, post-pregnancy, and you have to rebuild your core. So much of that awareness needs to come back.
Definitely. I think of the bracing as well, like it's very important throughout your daily life, especially like when you're lifting stuff throughout the home or outside. It's never a perfect like barbell or dumbbell that you're going to be able to lift with perfect technique. You're going to be reaching forward for it. You're going to be in awkward positions. But learning to brace will help you to stabilize and avoid injury, which is very helpful in your like lifestyle.
Yeah, I mean, we have countless of numbers of patients that bend over to brush their teeth and come back up and then goes, And it's like, oh, it hurts. And then it hurts for days and days. And that's because of a lack of stability around the core, right? And usually the first thing to go in that position, particularly, probably your SI joint. But yeah, it's just everything. And I think that's like the most important thing in all the lifts. And that squatting, deadlifting, overhead movements, benching, doesn't matter what you're doing. It should always be working.
Exactly.
And when you train enough, I guess for me, when I've trained enough, I know that my core is working even when I'm not thinking about it. So I'm not scared to I'm going to just lift this cabinet, because I know I know how to wake it up when I do those movements.
Yeah, and it's also when after, like, it takes a bit of like conscious effort to brace like effectively each time you lift something. But over time, it just becomes subconscious. When you're lifting something, you don't even realize you're bracing before you lift it. And like, I didn't realize that I was actually bracing.
But I guess for someone that doesn't do that or doesn't know how to, it's such a new thing. Like, they don't think about it.
Yeah.
But they're probably surprised that they do use their core. Every time you laugh or cough, go to the toilet, it's always in use.
Yeah.
But it's just building that awareness. Yeah, I mean, in the clinic, we don't have belts, so I tell people to squeeze their own tummy like
and
this
press out,
and push out. So that's the closest thing they can do.
That's a good one to get. Yeah.
Or tell them to put a weight at home and on their tummy, like lie in the back, and then just like push the weight away.
Press out.
Yeah, but flatten the back at the same time.
Nice.
And then that seems to work.
You gotta work around it, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then they still don't get it. I'm like, yes, go to eat.
You gotta work with your environment.
Exactly.
Work with what you have.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I think that was the main thing about lifting specifics.
Yeah.
I guess we can have one more thing I wanted to chat about, which is maybe like protecting your disc. I think this carries on from the last point of bracing, is when people say, oh, you lift heavy, like, is that dangerous for me? Like, won't I blow my disc out, right? I mean, I guess for you, obviously, you would program to strengthen the core to begin with, and then you start loading, right? But like, what do you tell people when they say that to you? Like, how do you navigate that?
I think usually when they talk about like, oh, you're gonna blow your disc out or hurt your back, is they're looking at like elite or high level athletes like performing a task, like doing a deadlift where they're probably slightly rounded, which is normal for elite lifters to do. And they're looking at that and thinking, oh, that's pretty bad for your back. But the lifter's been lifting that way for years upon years, right? And they've exposed themselves to those positions and they know how to stabilize in those positions.
Yeah.
Whereas if you take a regular person and ask them to lift like that, they are going to hurt themselves.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's kind of it's a progression, it's a step-by-step thing, is where you kind of expose yourself to different movement patterns, different positions over time, slowly, and slowly adding progressions to it to make the spine more resilient. And but definitely at first, you would definitely teach a bracing, something simple, bracing in a neutral position, under load, and then adding like some sort of like flexion, extension, rotation. I think it's all important because the spine is made to move. And I think people get too fixed on like, oh, my spine needs to be, this position needs to be neutral while I'm moving. It's like, but what if you're like, if you have a kid, what if you're with your kid?
Yeah.
Like you're going to bend over, pick up your kid, you're going to have a neutral spine. When you're playing with your kid, if you're like throwing your kid up, is everything going to be neutral? No, your spine is going to move, flex, extend. So it is important to expose yourself over time to those different positions. I wouldn't say right away, but over time, definitely exposure to it will help with spinal health.
This is why I love strongman, because there's so many movements that are so unconventional. Yeah, like picking up a sandbag and throwing it on your shoulder and trying to run with it is like, to most people, it's like, what? Like, are you insane? I'm like, it's okay.
It's functional strength.
It's
right?
functional strength. And like, I think, not to shit on powerlifters and even weightlifters, even though I'm doing that too, is that you have to do a variety of stuff to make sure you're, I guess, bulletproofing your body against all physical stresses you may encounter. But, with strongman, like I guess that takes it to the max. Yeah.
You're basically making your spine tougher, as you mentioned before, right? It can handle a lot more stresses.
Yeah. Because so much of it is actually when you brought up rotation and just made me think of people playing golf.
Of course.
Yeah. Golf and tennis, a lot of rotational sports where if you're not training your spinal disc to handle rotational strength and you're just swinging all day long, many times a day, your discs are not, they're going to break down. Yeah. And like spinal disc, yes, they can take load, but you need to learn to compress and rotate safely,
and also using the core as well. Like I have a lot of golfer clients who they go see a golf coach, and the issue is that they're just not rotating, they're not twisting, they're using too much force from their shoulders, their upper body to actually swing the club, where actually they need more rotation to their spine to help with it. And also to be more relaxed, like tense. Yeah.
I mean, I tried a round of golf over the weekend.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, okay, I get it. I get why it hurts. It hurts, it's frustrating. And if your spine is not built to protect it,
I think that people need to expose themselves to different movements. And like you mentioned, it's just going to make them more resilient against injury in the future.
Well, that's all my points, to be honest. I mean, if there's anything else you want to share, or some stuff you want to ask me about Cairo.
No, but like a funny story about Cairo, because I was hesitant about coming to Kent for quite a long time. Actually. And then when I started to see Kent, I would not allow him to touch my neck. I was like, don't touch my neck, because I had a lot of issues with my neck, like growing up. I think I was 5 or 6. I was playing with my mom on the couch, and I fell off and cracked my neck. I don't even know what happened, but I was in like a neck brace for like a couple of weeks.
Oh wow!
Yeah, okay.
You didn't tell me that.
Yeah, like that's my trauma, childhood trauma.
I see.
And then like I think I messed it up also, like messing around on a trampoline, I landed on my neck. Cracked it, and I've always had like neck issues. Like it would always, like during my training, I would feel like my neck, shoulders get very stiff. So I was always very like paranoid about having it cracked, like, oh, what if something goes wrong? What if like you watching too much like 80s action movies where they walk behind someone and they just twist their neck and the guy dies?
Yeah.
It's like, what if I die on Kent's table?
No, can't have that.
But yeah, I remember the first time, like, it took a few sessions, I think maybe 4 or 5.
Yeah.
And then I felt comfortable enough to allow Kent to crack my neck. And then I swear, like, as soon as it was cracked, I was like, oh man, like, I felt so different. Like, I felt so light.
Yeah.
I could like rotate, move better. And I was like, oh man, like, all these years I've been like living like so stiff on my neck.
Yeah,
like,
that's all
I
it
just
took.
need to open up. Yeah.
One adjustment and it's like, ooh,
One
freedom.
adjustment, yeah.
Well, thanks for the trust.
Yeah,
Took some time to build.
Yeah, that's as you spoke before about the parasympathetic nervous system, is like allowing me to release that stress, like on my neck, on my upper back, to like actually like relax.
Because that's a very internal feeling. It's not like what you can touch.
Yeah.
It's like I can actually chill and let it go. That feeling.
Even the movement, like when you went afterwards, like when you did the assessment of looking, I was turning my neck and I was like, oh damn, like, I feel like an owl.
Yeah, I can see behind
so
me.
much.
And this whole time you've been doing like these ones. Yeah.
But it's good, like, and I can see you care about like your clients as well, like having to not just tell me that, come on, like just let me crack your neck, it's gonna be fine. It took time. And then you build the trust to actually to do that.
Yeah, and like, we do with all of our assessments and safety checks, and we make sure there's nothing weird going on behind it before we do it, right? And from what you were telling me, it was just tight.
Yes. And it was
tight
just
for a very long time. Tight for a very long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess that's it.
Yeah.
Nothing much else to add. But hopefully, I hope some of our conversations will, I guess, explain some things for people that aren't exposed to training or lifting, or how lifting helps you feel better, because I cannot stress enough how much it's done for me myself, and I hope more people experience it. Let's hope people will pick up a few things from this.
I hope so too.
Yeah.
I mean, the hardest part is just taking that first step in, right, and getting started in strength training.
Yeah.
Like I said, it can be quite intimidating at first, but I mean, once you step inside, once you see the benefits of it, then you realize, like, damn, I should have started earlier.
Yeah. I mean, they go into the gym and then they see you with your tattoos and they're like, oh shit, this guy.
Yeah, I got a hangry face. Like, I don't want to approach him.
Just bring Ian snacks and then he'll be happy. That's what I've learned over the years. Right? As long as there's snacks, you'll be fine.
You'll be fine.
Yeah, but as soon as you go into the gym and then you realize, everyone is actually worried about themselves, not about you. And no one actually cares about what you're doing. It's just about yourself. Yeah. Yes. So that's the biggest thing. So
just focus on yourself.
Just focus on yourself. Yes. Work on it all the time. Be consistent. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's it. So thank you again for your time, and I guess I'll see you tomorrow. I'm back to training again. So
thank you guys. For having me.
Thank you very much. Thank you.